Good morning, AM Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. Going to get right straight to one of my favorite contributors. Brings such great stories, and he personally has a great story of his own, and that's Jon Velie, and he's an attorney with a very interesting practice, and I love the work that he does. And John, what I'd like you to do is, because you do such a better job than I do of explaining your practice than I do, I'd like you to jump right into an explanation, kind of explaining what you do, and then introduce an interesting guest for us as well. But I do want to mention John's website, onlinevisas.com, and you'll get what that's all about when you hear Jon speak. Onlinevisas.com. Welcome, Jon.
Thank you, Kevin. Great to be here. I hope everybody had a great Halloween. I'm very lucky to have a wonderful practice where I get to represent people from all over the world that get to come to our country and help Americans go to other countries. It's a global immigration practice. We've got world-class clients like Pablo Sandoval, World Series champion, Alex Len, first-round draft pick for the Phoenix Suns, a lot of techies in Silicon Valley, and a lot of regular people that just want to come and live in America and enjoy the American dream. We look at our practice as we deliver dreams, and really enjoy doing that. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. And your guest today?
Well, today we have Jay Levy of the law offices of J.M. Levy from Coral Gables, Florida, and South Florida, Miami area. And Jay is a very excellent lawyer. He's been practicing for 38 years. He's got a small firm, a very efficient boutique, and he does three things. He does business litigation, employment law cases, and he does a lot of appellate work. Jay is one of the best and really has a great practice.
You know, coming from you, because I consider you one of the best at what you do, that's saying a lot. Jay, welcome to the program. Kind of give us an overview of your practice.
Well, my practice, as you've heard, consists of three things. It consists of employment law, it consists of business litigation, and business litigation would mean business disputes, whether it be of a contractual nature or issues with a bank or contractual matters, things along that line. Employment law is obviously representing both sides with regard to wages and hours litigation, discrimination, civil rights matters, things like that. And appeals are appeals from all kinds of civil and administrative matters, whether it be in state or federal court.
Very good. Jon, your question?
Jay, what are some of the keys to your success?
Well, I'm a small firm, and it's simply me and one other lawyer. So every client that I have has hands-on treatment directly with me. They deal directly with me. And I find that my success is on a number of things. First of all, it's my length of experience, which separates me out from many, many lawyers, because there are very few situations in court matters that I have not seen in the past and have the experience in how to deal with. And secondly, my appellate background, being that I am proficient in appellate matters, helps me immeasurably at the trial level, because I have a degree of sophistication with regard to what the law is, and which is really unmatched by most lawyers who practice at the trial level. So those two things taken together give me what I feel to be an advantage in court and recognized by my clients, which is why I've been a success.
Very, very good. By the way, let's give your website real quickly.
Yeah, my website is jlevylaw.com.
Go right ahead, Jon.
Jay, know that you've won some major cases, big figures and stuff like that. Can you share maybe a case or two with us that you've done well with?
Well, I can talk about the most recent ones that come to mind. I represented a gentleman in a contractual dispute who was a manager of a hotel, and he had a written contract for a term of years paying a specific salary. And that gentleman got the hotel up and running, did fairly well for them, and then when he had performed his job, and they really had no need for him anymore, so they let him go prior to the end of his contract. He came to me, and we filed a suit for breach of contract, which resulted in our contention that there was no basis to fire him under the terms of his written agreement. After a week-long trial, the jury agreed and returned a significant verdict for my client, which was affirmed on appeal, making him a very happy client. Another matter I've handled concerns, I represented a financial institution who was sued by a potential borrower in a lender liability case. After 2-week trial, we were successful in obtaining a verdict for the defense, which was my side of the case. And so my lending institution was not responsible for any damages claimed by the plaintiff. And the other one that comes to mind recently is a real property dispute over a very valuable piece of real property in Miami-Dade County, Florida, in which we were being sued by a potential buyer for specific performance. In other words, the buyer said that we had to convey the property. And after another lengthy trial, at which we had some success in diminishing the credibility in case of the buyer, he eventually settled with us on terms that were favorable to my client, making, again, a very happy client.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great examples. And so, do you always represent the business, for example, in employment law?
As I said, I represent both sides.
Oh, both sides. I didn't catch that. I apologize for that. And so I guess it's based on who gets to Jay first. John, your question.
Yes, Jay, when you're not pulling down multi-million-dollar verdicts for your clients, I understand that you have taken on a number of civil rights cases. Can you talk a little bit about who you've represented in those cases and how you've helped these folks?
Yeah, sure. I have represented in a number of disability discrimination cases. I have represented the hearing impaired in assisting them to get accommodations under the Americans with Disabilities Act. One case I tried in federal court, I was successful in getting an injunction, a permanent injunction, requiring the state of Florida to furnish the equivalent of psychological care to people at a local public hospital, which had a program, but which was not providing effective communication for the deaf because they didn't provide interpreters, nor did they provide a psychologist who could sign. And the court agreed with me that was a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act and imposed the requirements that a translator be present to facilitate communication. Another one I've handled is a free speech case concerning a local municipality in which we contend that the First Amendment is being violated because the city council does not provide the appropriate public access for communication by the citizens to the city council.
Got to wrap it up with that point. So you guys really are involved in a lot of different cases, all of which sound extremely interesting. Why don't you wrap it up with your final thoughts for us, John?
Yeah, it's great to have guys like Jay on the show. Attorneys that do a great job in the commercial space. Usually high money cases that then take on these civil rights actions, show a little bit about his heart and his passion, and making himself effective where he can be, and suggest highly to anybody. And not only does Jay work in South Florida, he is called around the country to do this sort of work, especially on the appellate side. And so either attorneys or clients that need a victory in an appeal, Jay's your man.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much, Jay. Jay Levy, and by the way, that's JayLevy law.com and onlinevisas.com to reach Jon Velie. And thanks so much to both of you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Great job. When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.